Hey everyone, it's the Sith Justice Warriors coming at you with our final podcast of 2020.
Yes. So wishing everyone a happy holiday.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break, gonna recharge the batteries, spend time with family, and yeah, come back and hopefully make some more exciting changes in the new year. As we hope this new year is better than what we've experienced. Because quite frankly, I don't know what else we could experience other than what nuclear war. You know what? I shouldn't say that because it might happen. So knock on wood.
Let's put it this way. Things are turning up and maybe we'll have movies back next year, if anything.
The a side topic, the that movie, the Nobody. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it's the way they market it is like only in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm like, what theater
So,
could you put it on?
yeah, because the nearest theater that's open near me, I don't think is near at all. So, yeah, I mean, I'm right now like on TV, it's like, oh, in theaters this Friday. And I'm like, did they not change the commercial or did they just basically like assume that there are still theaters playing out there? Maybe
I
in
don't know.
Florida. I don't know. Maybe there are theaters in Florida. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome, guys. It's Princess Olympia here with Jaded Fan, my co host. I think we wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday, whatever holiday you're celebrating out there, as well as a happy new year. This will be our final podcast for the 2020 season. We were so happy to have you guys out there listening to us, and hopefully, to fans' point, we get a little bit more engagement or we get a little bit more thoughts from you guys. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, and maybe there'll be more news to talk about going into next year. Really, this episode, we wanted to focus on the last Mandalorian episode that aired yesterday. If you have Disney Plus, we are going to be talking about spoilers. So I will advise you to basically watch the episode first before you even listen to the rest of the podcast, because this is going to be spoiler centric. If you have not even gotten to the final episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian. So I'll just kick it off, fan, and feel free to interject. But basically, this last episode finds us, it's called The Rescue. As we all know, in the last episode, the Mandalorian sort of lost Grogu, aka Baby Yoda. Um, Grogu was taken by the Dark Troopers that are basically under Moff Gideon's control. And it sounded like, from what he was saying, they were doing some sort of genetic testing on him. They actually had like vats of like bodies. It's weird. It almost made me think, and I know I'm skipping ahead to my thoughts, but it almost made me think they were trying to clone or create their own being. Like, is this where we get Snoke from? Leveraging the DNA from a Jedi or someone who is force sensitive, if you will. So anyway, going forward, Mando basically recruits a whole bunch of, familiar faces, Boba, Fennec, as well as, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank with Katie Sackhoff's character, Bo-Katan.
Yep.
And so and her partner, who's played by Sasha Banks, the WWE wrestler. So basically, they are all recruited to basically, for all intents and purposes, to achieve their own agenda, because as we all know, Bo-Katan wants the dark saber for herself in order to claim the throne of Mandalore. So it finds us basically, they basically steal one of the ships. It looks like it's the ship from Empire Strikes Back, like the one that like Luke or that Han and Leia stole to get on Endor. And basically they board Moff Gideon's ship. He was prepared. What was interesting to me about it was that he was like one step ahead of them all, which was interesting. I don't think he's a force sensitive character, but he definitely was playing chess, and he played it very well, because it's almost like he anticipated a lot of the moves, because they found themselves, able to take over the ship, kind of locate the baby, but the Grogu, and basically kind of deal with these dark stormtroopers, all at once. But the thing is it seems like he had the upper hand, because these stormtrooper things came back. They're all fully mechanoid, so they're not. In one scene, Mando actually like ejected them into space, and they basically flew back to the ship, and were about to basically kill everyone on the ship. They're really hard to kill if you ever saw them. They're like the Terminator, but on steroids. Anyway, I skipped ahead, but there was a cool fight scene between Gideon Moff and the Mandalorian. And I thought it was cool because you actually got to see the dark saber in use. Apparently, the dark saber cannot cut through the metal, the Beskar metal, pure Beskar, which is what the Mandalorian's armor is made of, as well as the weapon he won when he was helping Ahsoka with that I forget what planet that was, but with the people kind of escape, all of that. So anyway, great fight scene, because we finally got to see like this thing in use. What was the twist of all of this, and the reason why Bo-Katan was so adamant about making sure she was the one who gets to fight Moff Gideon, or gets him, or whatever. She basically made that statement before she agreed to do anything, was like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you do, I get him. The reason we find out is because whoever bests Moff Gideon, bests the dark saber from Moff Gideon, defeats him basically, is the rightful owner of the dark saber. And like basically Bo-Katan he can't just give it to her, because he was basically giving her, he being Mandalorian, he was basically handing it to her and saying, here, take it. I don't need it. I don't want it. And basically there's Moff Gideon laughing because his chess game, like he basically was like, you know what? Like she won't take it. She can't take it because she needs the story. She needs the story behind it. And that's part of the legend. She would have to fight Din Djarin for it, which puts us in a little bit of a crux. Anyway, the biggest scene, which is what everyone in the Twitter world is talking about, everyone on social media was talking about after, they'd seen it, is this climactic scene where the dark stormtroopers are about to break into the control room where they are in the spaceship and basically kill them all. This X-Wing flies in and they all see it. They're like, oh, someone's here. And they're like hailing whoever is in the X-Wing. And guys, who's in the X-Wing. I started getting choked up when I saw the X-Wing, because there's only one person I could think of that would, and I think everyone was thinking of it, who the heck would respond to Grogu's message, so to speak, on the Jedi Temple. And what we see in the next few scenes brought tears to my eyes for two things. Like, we just see this montage of basically this Jedi with a green lightsaber, like taking down one by one the dark stormtroopers that no one else could beat, that the Mandalorian fighting one was painful enough for him. Here you go with this person who is a masked or hooded figure, like literally using the force and just taking them down, and it was beautiful. And then finally, when you see who it is, when he walks through the door after he kills the last person, you already know who it is. You know it's Luke Skywalker, and guess what it is? And it made me cry, because this is the Luke Skywalker that he should have been in my mind, not the one that's sitting there like a hermit drinking green blue milk or whatever. So I really got emotional because I got all the feels, and I got emotional because Grogu had to go with him. It was the right thing to do. So anyway, I talked a lot about it. Fan, give me your take. I want to know what does this mean for the future, because so many people are thinking about it. I'll even get to the after credits, but I have to stop there because the Luke scene for me just gave me all the feels.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, let me talk about my reaction to this was, well, let me lead up to this. A couple of things. One, Bo-Katan was a lot of talk. She didn't even have this cool epic fight that I was expecting.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, yeah, we know future, man, future, the force is, we get it. The other thing that Sasha Banks' character, when she actually flipped Boba Fett, I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah,
At the same time,
right. That's right.
I was like,
I
I get it, John Favreau. I get it, Filoni. You're trying to appease to Kathleen Kennedy.
think
But
that's
at the same
the
time,
move that she used.
but that was a wrestling move.
Yeah, that's why I said if Sirius was here, he would probably confirm it, but I believe that's her wrestling move.
Oh, but still, like, we took her out of the WWE. She is in the Star Wars universe, but you know what? I have to admit, I'm not close to those characters, so maybe it's not believable. And also, I have to discount Boba Fett. He was being digested in a Sarlacc. He's old, so.
Stop. We're gonna
But,
go.
but then when it was the standoff, right? I was like, come on, man. I'm like, this is your forefather here, right? No, I'm playing around. It was fine. All right, I just had to knock Bo-Katan because everyone kept telling me how great she was, and she didn't even do anything. That was, and it was okay. And then if Bo-Katan is so great, the fact that Gideon was like, "I bet you she's on the bridge, freaking out," and she's just like there staring, like freaking out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the people you want me to like follow? Aren't they the New Republic show or the
Or
Ranger of the Republic?
yeah, the one before with Ahsoka. But yeah, I guess my thing is like, not to interrupt your thing, I agree with you, but it goes back to show you like his chess game. It was his chess game. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and I never understood who the Gideon thing, but I have now mad respect for him for doing that. Now, let's get to this. Twitter ruined it for me. I was scoping Twitter for other things, and then all of a sudden I see these people saying, "Oh my god, I saw Luke," and I'm like, "Fuck." But first off, yes, it spoiled me. But on the flip side, who other Jedi that Ahsoka is going to say that's going to reach out and find Grogu? I mean, it was just slapping you in the face. It was like, well, there's only one other Jedi in this time frame, so I was just like, oh, so it really is Luke. Oh well, you guys spoiled it for me. So then I watched it, and I'm like, okay, let's see how it goes. So in my mind, my expectation actually was that he just pops up. I didn't expect it to go down the way it did. And so it's so funny. Like I'm just looking, it's like, oh, we've got something inbound. Oh, it's just an X-wing. Oh, okay. Like they're just like passing it off. Like, oh shit, this thing's going down this way. Oh, like it's going down this way because like I was thinking, man, maybe the Mandalorian's gonna actually do something with the dark saber. But then I'm like, wait a minute, you're really gonna do it this way with the X-wing? And then man, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni gave me the one thing I just waited 25 plus years for. I just wanted Luke Skywalker to be the badass master Jedi master that I always knew he was. That's it. Like, if you gave me this, but then Luke died in the sequel trilogy, I would have been content. I would not have gone out like an angry child. I'll admit that. At the Last Jedi, I've never walked out of a movie so angry. And I admit it was kind of technically childish when you look back at it, but I was just like, I was so angry with the way they represented him, and just seeing him there kicking ass, and I'm like, this is the Luke Skywalker I waited for. And yeah, that was my moment. But the future thing. Do you know what's disappointing about the future?
What?
Kathleen Kennedy and all the announcements did not announce a Luke Skywalker series. So you're never gonna as long as you Kathleen Kennedy's there, you'll never have that.
Yeah. This was like, I feel like they just gave us this to satiate the fact of the mess that they created. But yeah,
I actually heard they're pissed about it.
Really?
I heard Kathleen Kennedy, like, not me. I'm hearing Twitter. I mean, other than the sequel apologists, I think Kathleen Kennedy is mad that people, despite their smear campaign, that the reaction of the fans was of all wonder and everything that I felt, that this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
And actually, I just saw Mark Hamill's tweet about it. He was like, I was impressed that it never leaked. So he was in on
I'm
it.
impressed. I'm impressed as well, because like, you would have thought people would have, but then again, he was never probably seen on set, if anything. But either way, no leaks happened, which is amazing. I agree with you, but he even actually tweeted right before, like, most of us watched it on Friday, has anyone seen any good TV lately?
Yeah, well, I think, when did they launch? Thursday? Thursday night is when they launch it?
12 a.m. It's usually like, what, 12 a.m. on Friday? That's
Yeah.
what it is. But either way, you know what? If they're mad, I don't know. This should make them rethink a lot about their strategy, especially since Disney Plus is the way they're going. What I agree, there's no Luke Skywalker, announcement. Maybe they're saving it. I'm gonna stay on the New Hope side and hope. But like, in the sense that, everyone's been talking about Sebastian Stan picking it up, like, there all these rumors, and they are just rumors. We have no facts, But if they were to do it, that would be great. I mean, they're already giving credence to Cassian Andor, which we all know died. Like, they did a whole teaser trailer for him.
Yeah, because everybody cared about Cassian Andor.
Exactly. Like, I'm not dissing the actor, because he's really good. It's just, give me Luke Skywalker. What's interesting too is that, I mean, you also have to think about this Obi-Wan show, which never finished filming. Like, it's part of it.
Oh yeah, and I just can't. The Obi-Wan thing. Not to cut you off, that really. Well, first off, it's neat that Hayden Christensen is Darth Vader. What scares me is that the casting is all about the lead is a female. So I don't know.
I didn't hear that, and that's where I'm kind of trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure out everything, like, because I haven't really heard much about it. I just know Hayden Christensen is now attached, and Obi-Wan. But I thought this was him watching Luke from afar grow up. Because,
and then Lando, we've got
Lando, but even then, all the other ones, like the Acolyte. Who is the Acolyte? We don't know.
Who cares? This is the High Republic.
And then the other, like, but either way, there's room. I guess what I'm trying to say is, maybe that's when she steps out. or that's her gift on departure. I don't know. They still have to figure out this whole slew of things that they just announced. Plus, I think the end with the Boba Fett thing like kind of threw me off, and I think it threw off a lot of people because on social media, like basically the book of Boba Fett is set to debut December 2021. That just so happens to be the same time the Mandalorian 3 will be debuting, December 2021. So it caused a lot of people on the Twitterverse, on social media to wonder, is Mandalorian 3 the book of Boba Fett? Or like, are we done with Din Djarin? Is his story for now over? And we're, Mandalorian season 3 is really about Boba Fett and how he basically took over Jabba's, like, what do you call that?
Jabba's palace. It's fine if it's season 3. It's kind of neat that it is Boba Fett. I think that's probably poor communication on their end. I also wonder, when it comes to Mandalorian season 3, what's left? Is he gonna steal the child back from Luke Skywalker? No. And by the way, the mystique of the Mandalorian has actually gone now that I've seen his face. I don't know about you. No, I don't know. Like, it's kind of mixed, right? Because
it is kind of mixed.
If he showed his face at the final episode when he did that for Grogu, I think that would have been more powerful. But because I saw it the episode before, which we didn't talk about, but I mean, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
I just felt that if you were gonna unveil him at that moment. That was more powerful, because Grogu's like, before you go, Dad, or whatever, let me see your face. Like, that's it. Like, that would have been more powerful. That's my criticism of the final.
And I agree with you to an extent, because I think you have a point there. I agree with you in that it would have been a lot more meaningful and like more impactful. Like, I mean, it was already emotionally charged with Luke there.
But then again, that's Luke.
Like, that's why I'm almost kind of like, I think they kind of dumbed that part down, because there was already a lot of feelings there. Like with Luke, with the baby leaving, with him like tearing up. But I agree with you. Like, to an extent, it shows an evolution of his character in my mind. He's finally, I don't know, in a weird way, we started on this journey with him being like, that's the way, that's the way. Then he lost his like sort of family of Mandalorians in that room. And so the way became the child. And so because of this situation, he's kind of sort of met all these other sort of quasi Mandalorians, and you come to realize, like, it's interesting because it basically means that he's changing as a character. He's willing to bend the rules that he was brought up in because he really cares about the child. So I took it as a positive, but I agree with you. It would have literally been heart-wrenching for me if the first time we ever saw his face was then. But I think to an extent, there was already too much going on for me, especially when, like, for Sirius, he was like when R2 showed up. Like, R2 just sealed the deal, but the X-Wing already, I got this premonition of like, there's only one person. No. And then it was like the figure, and then Sirius was like, that hilt, that's a green saber. And I'm like, no. And then it was just like, just an amazing sequence of events. And then, I know it was CGI Luke, but it was still Mark Hamill voicing him.
Was it?
It said, and Mark Hamill. I think he was voicing him. It had to be.
Are you sure?
The end credits have Mark Hamill's name on it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he was in on it, right? Like he admitted.
I mean, it is his image, but that was his voice. You're telling me the only other thing is like they picked his voice from different parts of the movies? Like, I don't know. I don't think they would do that to him. We all know Mark Hamill is actually a voice actor. He had a long stint doing the voice of the Joker on the Batman animated series. So, you know, he could do it from afar, you know? Could totally do the voice acting. The stunt double or the double who played him, like in terms of the role, um, has done a lot of movies as well. More recently, The Planet of the Apes. Um, and so he's used to like that sort of not motion capture, but like that sort of like, you know. But even then, like that was Luke's voice for sure, Mark Hamill's voice. But anyway, in my opinion, I don't know all the details.
It actually felt though. It actually felt cut and paste. That's why I was a little. That's why I didn't believe you because it just felt cut and paste. Like it was just all these canned phrases.
That's true. But I mean,
but it didn't matter. It was the Luke Sky. It was my vision of Luke Skywalker.
yeah, it was
as
my
Master
vision
Jedi.
too. It was this is the Luke Skywalker after Return of the Jedi. This is he should have been kick ass, like freaking taking names, and he took on the freaking stormtroopers that no one else could take on.
Ooh, this is what I've got to call out, and I'm sorry. If the new what's the First Order
Yeah.
had just replaced all of their stormtroopers with these people.
Why weren't they in the movie?
No, I'm just saying, like, why did the First Order lose? Like, if they had if the First Order had access to these, what are they called? The Dark Troopers?
Yeah,
Troopers?
whatever. I think I call them Dark Troopers. I think that's what they are.
Yeah. So
stormtroopers.
Why didn't they just like not have stormtroopers and just simply just bulk up on dark troopers? You wouldn't have like I don't know those.
Yeah, part of me thinks something happened in between, as it always is in Star Wars land. Like something happens in between because you have to wonder, like you have to wonder how, like if you're right, how come they weren't in the movie?
No, it's fine that they weren't in the movie. I'm just saying the First Order would have been more successful had they just had a few of those. Do you know what I mean?
No, and I agree. And the thing is like the other piece of it is like whatever the blood they're taking from the Grogu. Like I don't know. Like what were in those vats.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is the Emperor. Like because the question is, I am under the assumption the sequel trilogy still exists.
Yeah.
And until and I think my prediction is the ace in the hole to reset everything is Ahsoka. Other than that, I don't know how else. You know what I mean? Like she's the only one who could go into time, or is the one who introduced time travel. The only one, and then you could just basically say you could either go way beyond and reboot the trilogy, the original trilogy, and have a younger Luke that you could take all the way to the end. Or you could save Luke and then recast him in a slightly older, because I love how they call him young Luke, but it's really just, Luke, like adult Luke, not old Luke.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I mean, maybe they didn't announce a Luke Skywalker series because they would not want to ruin it. But we all know that they would not have represented Luke in that manner, the manner that everyone on social media that actually gives a crap about Star Wars is saying, this is the Luke I know. Kathleen would never have ever represented him that way. It's all Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And by the way, I like that Dave Filoni is the showrunner for Ahsoka because I think that's his creation, and he refuses to have Kathleen Kennedy touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you go, we like move on a little bit more. Did you notice that Rian Johnson put out a tweet before this episode and he basically just showed a picture of the space cow?
No.
He just like randomly said, and then he like said babbled on about something how great the Last Jedi was, but it just happened to be the picture of him setting up the scene where Mark Hamill's going to drink the milk. It was such a shot. It was a shot. It was like a shot that he knew he had to take because Luke was going to be represented, and I'm pretty sure. I wonder if he's butthurt about how the media is.
Reacting.
Yeah, well, how the true fans are because
Yeah, this was the way he was supposed to be. And sad enough, a lot of the millennials out there who've never seen Star Wars don't know that. Like this was how, you know, what's sad is that you know, they mentioned, was it in the Ahsoka episode? They mentioned something about Thrawn, or what there was something about Thrawn mentioned, or she's definitely linked to him.
yeah, she's trying to hunt him. Yeah,
Yeah, so guess what? Like, I just realized that one of the first books that introduced Thrawn is a Legends book by Timothy Zahn. Like, how can you talk about Thrawn and he's in the like animated shows, but like, come on, people! Like, now we're going into the Legends. We're going into the Legends now, which is kind of funny. But anyway,
I'm just laughing because the old Rogue Squadron. I'm just reading the article about Rogue Squadron, and Rogue Squadron wasn't that supposed to be Wedge Antilles' group?
I thought so, but I mean, Wedge is like
It's not anymore. It's gonna be this lady named Hera. I'm just laughing.
I was about to say it's like Fat Wedge. No, I mean, like,
Oh no, what's his name? Wexley or something. This fat guy that again they tried to make us care about, and then when you finally have an inkling of caring about him, he's dead.
oh my
That's
god,
why it's like the Cassian Andor thing. Yeah, I will admit, Cassian Andor, if you made him like Kyle Katarn and freaking Dark Shadow, what was it? Frick, Dark Shadows, Dark Forces, Dark Forces.
oh my god.
Like if he was supposed to be that, he actually was good, but that doesn't matter. He's dead.
Actually, speaking of which, if you mentioned Dark Forces, which is a great game. Um, if you ever watch, and I'm not saying you have to because it has nothing to do with anything, but the Lego Star Wars special. If you ever watch it, Darth Vader actually mentioned Starkiller Base, and I just thought that was funny because that he literally the Emperor is like, we have a second base in operations. He's like, what should we call it? He's like, what about Starkiller Base? And I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, I just thought
And just the Lando thing. It's the Dear White People director, and I'm just like, that's just gonna be fantastic.
well, what the thing about the Lando thing is going to either be this old Billy D or Donald Glover, because remember at the end of the Last Jedi, old Lando was like, "Oh, let's go find out. Let's go find out. Let's go find out your story to the girl."
Yeah, because again, we have to care about someone you barely gave screen time to.
Right.
That's a Kathleen Kennedy thing. And yeah, they just kind of need to fix that because I have no idea what they're trying to do with the whole Kathleen Kennedy approach. But until she's replaced, which she ain't gonna be replaced anytime soon.
Well, her contract is supposed to end next year, I thought. So it's all, you know what? It's all going to hinge on Disney Plus. Like, I honestly think they did this for Disney Plus. Did they let this happen for Disney Plus?
They need it if you want people to still be subscribed.
Yes, exactly. Because you will see a drop off. You will literally see the drop off if they don't get the content that they want. So again, it'll be interesting to see. I still believe that they could pursue a Luke series, but I don't think it will be. I agree with you. It may not fall in Kathleen's regime, but
I never want her to touch it. I never want the greatest insult would be the showrunner of the Luke Skywalker series would be Ryan Johnson. That would be the greatest insult.
it's almost like he had an agenda to bury him. Like I don't even know what Luke Skywalker ever did to Ryan Johnson.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think Wright Johnson is the fire and forget missile. He was willing to do whatever dirty deed that Kathleen Kennedy asked him to, because she promised him a trilogy, by the way, right?
Mhm.
Which we don't know what happened to, right? Um, it's one of those things where it's fine. Maybe he does hate him, right? And that's all great. But I really think it's about doing the dirty work for Kathleen Kennedy, or whoever ladies took over Star Wars, because there really is this ultimate hatred toward Luke Skywalker, and I can't explain it.
Yeah, and like I said, I was just thinking while you were talking, I don't know what Luke Skywalker ever did to Ryan Johnson. And to your point, maybe he needed to erase him so he could rebuild, and he had this grandiose idea to build his own world and his own trilogy. Well, he never got it because the freaking thing tanked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that was his vision and he needed to destroy what, you have to destroy what exists to rebuild. So I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I'm glad he's off of it and he can moan and groan and whatnot. My bigger surprise was that Mark Hamill allowed it because I thought he was done. But again, it was only like, what, 2 minutes worth of time? But it meant so much. It was a really nice Christmas gift or holiday gift or Hanukkah gift or whatever. It was a really nice gift to give the fans, the true fans, before if anything. So, yeah.
Mm. This is what we needed. I think this really was the home run. And I thought Mandalorian did a good job. I did not expect them to give me all that I asked for in life.
Yeah, because your points, and again, this was the one, I love spoilers. This was the one episode I did not bother looking for anything, nor did anything pop up on my feed. And when I watched it Friday morning, I could not believe, yeah, exactly what you said. But to your point, you walked in thinking, oh, they're just going to show him at the end and call it a day. Not this whole grandiose, let me take down all these dark troopers before I get there.
But see, that's an understatement of what I just witnessed. That was like me putting, like, that's me taking a wonderful bottle of red wine and just taking a little droplet on my finger of what I know Luke Skywalker can be.
Oh,
The man moved a freaking black hole.
I know.
And this is what I got, drinking milk fresh off the tit. Sorry, that was a very sexist thing I said, but he did. Did he not?
He did. It was a whatever the cow was.
Space cow. The space. You could tell the space cow was like, I didn't have consent. Oh, is this too soon? Too late?
Too late. I don't know. But either way, I think, yeah, like you said, I mean, this was just a taste of it, but this was the Luke Skywalker that most fans of the show, like of the movies, know and love. This is what he should have been. This is how he should have gone, like in like a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe somewhere down the road, it will be all a dream. Like it would have been all a dream what happened with the Last Jedi. Like you said, Ahsoka could be the key because that could just be one outcome of a million parallel universes or whatnot. So we'll have to find out.
Well, that being said, any other thoughts about the future? I mean, I was a little bit more tepid and reserved, but honestly, if they can nail these other things, I know that Acolyte's going to be the throwaway. Here's Kathleen Kennedy a bone, but I think a lot of people need to ask the question: is Ahsoka going to save us, save SOL, save our Luke, or not? I mean, that's I have to watch. That's the one I have to watch because if there's a way she can undo Ray Palpatine, if we could have Mara Jade just like exist, and then like I said, I probably would have taken all of this crap of the sequel trilogy better if Rey was actually Luke's daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was never going to happen because it was just going in. You could tell there was three directions this thing wanted to go, and it made no sense. Oh, by the way, isn't it ironic? Like he's rolling up with the green saber.
Yeah.
And I was digesting this last night. And I'm like, he's rolling up with the green saber. That's like his saber, but somehow Ray just finds Anakin's saber.
I know. I know.
Did that come to your mind? You're like how the frick did she get the the Anakin saber? Like, what right did she have?
Who knows? Because I thought the Anakin saber like fell. So
but it's a story for another day. As
yes, it's a story because this all happened. This we will find out. We will find out it was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
It really was, literally like the song.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but as long as Kathleen Kennedy's there, I'm always going to be this negative Nancy.
Expectations will be tempered, and that's fine. I agree because I didn't believe this could ever happen. I didn't. And I mean, in all fairness, the CGI wasn't that great, but it was there. It felt like a video game. But you know what? I got what I wanted. And like that's all I really wanted anyway. So
that's what I waited 25 plus years for. I keep saying it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So either way, we appreciate everyone for listening to us.
Yeah, and we're by the way, we mentioned it earlier. We're going to take a little bit of a break. So hope everyone enjoys their time with their families. Stay healthy out there, stay safe, and enjoy the holidays as best as you can. With that said, if you like our content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications when we come back live fresh in the new year. Hopefully things get better, but until then, you may see some things like my failed attempts at trying to stream. Because I do owe that. In trying
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah. And yeah, stay safe out there. We're also on Twitter at Just the Sith. Till then, bring the dark to light in the entertainment world and see you on the Sith side.
Bye.